like art? You like art? You like art? You like art? You like art? I just like fun stuff. Come sit down and watch Acquired Savant. Acquired Savant.
Hello and welcome to Acquired Savant, the show where each week I'm joined by a local Perth artist as they show me a thing or two about what they do. I'm your host, Jimmy Karatz, and I'm going to be trying to do my best to follow along with our artist today. On this week's episode, I'll be joined by illustrator Jordan Allen-Barr, who will be showing me how to draw our very own cute little monster. Later on in the show, we'll be treated to a performance by singer-songwriter Jay LeCat. But for now, welcome Jordan.
Hello everybody. It's great to be here. Great to be on the show with you, Jimmy.
Very nice to see you.
Officially met as well.
You officially.
Yeah, awesome.
We've got some of your work here today. How'd you like to tell me a little bit about it?
All right, well, what's up first? All right, so do you want me to hold it? I guess I can do that. All right, fair enough then. That's all good. So this was for Inktober last year, and for people who don't know, Inktober is something that happens every October on Instagram, where every day there is a unique single word prompt for people to draw to and be inspired by that word prompt. Now this was for roast, because it's someone who's roasting a roast chicken.
Moving on.
Moving on, that's right.
I have to hold these because if I don't hold them, then I got nothing to do right now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, tell us about this beauty.
So this is a little cute little guy. He's got a huge mouth, and I don't think he can move around a lot. Sounds a lot like me. Why did I say that? Anyway, so it just reflects my kind of style, what I'd like to do. He's not really that cute. He's kind of scary. He's got evil-looking eyes. He's got horns all over his head and these big, sharp teeth. So often I like to do those sort of things. I like to draw aliens and monsters and kind of crazy stuff.
Looks like my ex-wife.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not even divorced.
No.
I just wanted to say that.
I just want to say that.
What do we got here? A giant
Very good. It is actually a spider.
Oh.
So you lose a point to that, unfortunately. You've already lost the show. But if anyone who's watching is familiar with J.R.R. Tolkien, who wrote Lord of the Rings, he also wrote a book called The Silmarillion. This is what this is inspired by. Ungoliant, the giant spider which sapped the world trees of their light juice, and there's a little evil guy down there. So yeah, that's the story behind that thing.
Beautiful. Well, without further ado, let's get to work.
All right.
Explain to us what we're going to be doing today, Jordan.
So today, we're going to be drawing an alien or monstrous creature. We're going to be using fine liner pens, and that means no pencils, no erasers. And the most important thing about this is there are no mistakes. You draw on the paper, you just have to go with it. You have to improvise, you have to cover it up, or you make it a part of your drawing. So basically, what we want to decide first is, do you want to do an alien monster or a mythical monster? The differences will be that an alien is more science fiction. You can have a bit more fun with it, how it looks.
Let's go with an alien.
An alien? All right, awesome. So I've decided an alien. Now what I'm also thinking is that what we can do is, I think of a body part, the next body part we're going to draw, but you think of what it's going to be like, or what animal it's from, or something that can describe it. So I might say toe in my head, and you might think
lizard.
Lizard, and then we'd say it together, and it has to have a lizard toe. How do you think about that? What do you feel like that?
What do I feel about that?
Yeah.
I feel that's a great plan.
That's a great plan. All right, so let's get started. I'll think of a body part.
All right.
You think of some sort of descriptor for it.
All right.
You've got it?
I've got it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, eye.
Hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus. All right, so this creature is going to have a hippopotamus eye, so break out your pen and let's go. So, hippopotamus eyes. I've been drawing thousands of hippopotamuses' eyes for my entire life. So I know exactly what they're doing. But I would say they're just like...
Is my plan to just copy what you're doing
Yeah,
here?
so your idea is that we're going to be drawing the same creature, but you can just follow along what I'm doing and I'll help you out. So this is a general sort of mammal eye. I guess it can be similar to what we're doing. So you've got the basic sort of circular shape. You've got the pupil, which is black in the center. Around that is the iris, but you see these two little circles there. That's a reflection. So usually that's a common thing that artists will do. They'll just draw a little circle for the reflection.
Do you have a certain kind of style that you draw in?
Yeah, so I actually started off my art sort of hobby as quite a young child, and back then it was a lot of cartoons and comics and stuff I'd be drawing. And eventually as I got older into the teenage years, I ventured more into realistic although it still is quite a stylized, cartoonish style, because I started as a cartoonist. So
Now you were obviously watching and reading those things, but what got you started in the whole process?
that's a really good question, because I don't know, my mum, according to her, I started drawing when I was 4 years old, and I would just sit in the living room and I would just draw circles all over a piece of paper. And apparently, like, circles is something where you're not meant to get right until you're like 6 or something. So I think I've always kind of been attuned to it.
You progressed faster than...
Well, I guess it's, and you know what? You know how everyone says practice, practice, practice? People think it's bullcrap, but it's true, because I've been practicing since I was 4, and that's why I'm like how I am. All right, so we're going to be moving on now.
Yep.
And we can touch it up later. So I'm going to think of another body part,
All right.
and you have to think of another description.
All right.
All right, I've got to think of it. All right, I've got it.
All right.
3, 2, 1, mouth.
Lizard.
Lizard mouth, excellent. So now looking at how the eye is, I reckon his face is going to be going this way, so we can start to draw a lizard mouth. Lizard is quite general, but we can start with scales. So I'm going to be drawing these lines. So the segmented scales along his lip here, the top lip. Almost maybe like a crocodile or any sort of general lizard. So you see I'm kind of following this line across and down, but these slightly curved lines. And the curved, because you want to show that like a lip is, it's got a roundness to it. And the thing you'll learn when you're doing line art is that the direction of lines, even shading, and what curves they are in, they can greatly give an impression of what sort of shape of what you think you're doing.
Now, these days, is there a particular artist that inspires you? Is there one in particular, or are there 20?
I would have to say there's 2 in particular, because I would say, first off, he was an Australian cartoonist whose name is Terry Denton.
Oh yeah,
So-
I'm somehow familiar with that name.
Yeah, yeah. So if you've ever heard of the Just series of kids' books, like Just Disgusting, Just Crazy, that was done by Terry Denton.
Oh, he did like
and
72 floor.
That's right. So that's the
Treehouse
more
or
recent
whatever,
work. That's
yeah.
probably what the younger kids of today are more familiar with. I grew up with Just Disgusting and a lot of horrible old books like that, which is really interesting as a kid. But he would do these stupid, silly, intelligent cartoons on the sideline margins of these books, and it really inspired me, because there was just a sense of humour that was conveyed with them. But also through copying his cartoonist style, I ended up indirectly learning a lot of the basic techniques of what an artist has to learn. So we can move on to the teeth if you want to now. So I'm just doing these basic sort of sharp teeth, although this is an alien, so of course you can be as crazy and as unorganized as you want. And that's a great thing about like drawing monsters and stuff, is that you don't really need to know that much about anatomy and actual what creatures look like, because you're making it up as you go along almost.
And a lot of the stuff that you draw, I imagine, in some way reflects who you are as a person, or your inner demons.
Yeah,
or
so my inner
do you
demon
have inner
particularly,
demons?
well, today it's a hippopotamus-eyed lizard-mouthed creature. I do agree that art is a great way of expressing yourself, and sometimes you just want to draw big, toothy, evil-looking demons and stuff, but that's something I've drawn all my life, and I've not always been an emotional wreck, so, you know, it doesn't mean that I'm a psychopath on the inside. No promises, though.
Yeah.
Would you like to meet me afterwards? Just in the
Yeah,
dark alley outside?
I'm gonna need some extra help with this here.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I think art's always a great thing for self-expression or whatever you do, even if it's drawing butterflies in a meadow.
Yep.
It's still a way to, you know, let out those emotions. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So what I'm doing now is I've drawn in the tongue behind the teeth. And I've just been colouring it in like that. And as you can also see around the edges of the lips, I've just done these little lines to show that there's a little bit of shadow under the lip there. Alright. You're doing great, actually. Do you do much drawing?
No.
Well, considering that, you've done a really good job.
I draw irrational conclusions, that's all. It's an American thing, that's what we do.
American. Very patriotic of you.
Yeah, well, I try not to be.
You're doing really well, actually.
Well, thank you. And then somewhere under here, I kind of draw the tongue. Yeah,
Yeah, so you see
above
how
it,
I've
yeah.
gone behind those teeth there?
Should we move on to the next part of it?
Yeah, I think we're actually moving on to another segment of the show.
Oh, we are indeed. All right. While this stuff is coming along, let's take a minute to get an elderly perspective.
All right, so what do you want to do next?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll let you.
Have a good look at it.
I am certainly looking at it.
Lovely. So this will be the first piece of art. So let's get you both to have a look at that one.
Well, it's obviously somebody's got a little bit of an animal fetish, isn't it?
Dogs. Are they all dogs or wolves or
Dogs and caterpillars.
I don't know, sort of caterpillar sort of thing. I don't know what it really is.
I think it's a fusion of pet animals
Yes,
and
yes.
little mollusk type things.
looks like fish? Is that fish on the bottom? No, dogs.
What would you think if I told you that a person didn't actually paint this? It was a computer with artificial intelligence.
I believe you.
I don't know if even a person does the art.
Quite frankly, it would probably paint a very good painting, but there would be nothing in it.
It could become a very good thing.
This art is cute.
Toot!
Well, I'm going to boot that one.
Boot.
I like it.
Toot!
Too. Ah,
Are you familiar with this work?
No,
What do you think it's saying?
naked woman.
Right, well, I reckon this is pornography written by a 5-year-old.
It's getting too androgynous for me, if you know what I mean.
She's certainly a good eater, isn't she? She's certainly dined out a few times, and she doesn't use a razor on her legs. I can see that as well.
portrays a woman as whatever she wants to be and however she wants to be.
Probably she's proud showing herself.
If it was a 5-year-old that drew it, it was great. If it was a 30-year-old that drew it, then get another job.
And what do you think of it?
What am I supposed to say?
Do you like it? Do you not like it?
Not really.
I would suggest that she takes up something of plumbing would be good.
I think toot.
All right, we'll toot on that one. I think.
Oh.
On the side board.
One toot or boot?
Well, I recognise that one, don't I? Ah, the cactus, yes, very, very nice.
Now, do you recognise
Oh,
this
God.
one?
Yes, certainly do.
Tongue in cheek.
It's the Aborigine thing. Is that the one?
Do you think it'd be better if it was in a different colour, maybe?
I think it'd be better if it was in a different spot.
Words fail me.
Or perhaps hidden inside a ditch or something.
You can't climb it, you can't do anything, it just seems to be in the way.
It's good. It's cute.
I will boot that, eh?
Yes.
Didn't even have to say it.
Back to the show. Acquired Savant, let's go.
Welcome back. We're going to take a little interruption from our drawing, and we're going to play a little game that we like to call Fun Facts Art. Are you ready for this, Jordan?
I am ready as ever.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
There's our first picture that we've got up
Yep.
there. Do you recognize who those people are?
Now, the one on the right, here's David Bowie. I know that. I do not know the man on the left.
The other one is Pablo Picasso. Now, which one of these artists was an animal lover who in their lifetime had a pet monkey, a goat, an owl, a turtle, and a pack of dogs and cats as pets?
I will have to say, just because I've never heard David Bowie having any of those inclinations, I've just noticed how he has 2 different eye colours. That's awesome. I would have to say Pablo Picasso.
You are correct, sir. Congratulations. All right,
Cool.
what do we got here now?
Oh.
Ah, yes. What did English artist Andy Brown use to create a portrait of Queen Elizabeth?
You know what? Just because I know that someone would like to do something as controversial as that, I'm going to have to go with the tampons.
You are incorrect on that one. It is tea bags. It is tea bags. I don't know. That
You gotta be kidding
seems
me.
like it shouldn't have been obvious. I don't know.
Maybe I messed up.
Here we go. Question number 3. Which of these artists speaks French fluently?
You know what? I reckon this is a trick question. I'm going to have to go with Justin Bieber.
You are correct, actually.
I am correct.
These must be all tricky questions there. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. All right, we got
goodness.
another one here for you.
Dank memes. I'm all about dank
All
memes.
right. In 1565, in England, what was invented?
Dank memes
Or
or pencils? Wow. That's...
Oh, come on. It's
All right.
clearly a pencil.
All right. No, dank memes. I'm going to say dank memes.
You're wrong.
What? I thought it was going to be a trick question.
You never know. Apparently, they could have been around forever.
Well, apparently meme comes from a different word, which means a cultural idea that gets stuck in people's heads. So I don't know.
That is a fair call. Well
So
done. Well
I'm
done.
I'm right anyway.
You're still
Okay.
wrong, though. But all right, a couple more here. Translated from Spanish, what was Pablo Picasso's first word? Was it bacon or pencil?
Bacon.
Nah, it's pencil again.
What?
We might get a couple of repeats. There might be another question in here about dank memes. We'll find out. All right. How you going so far? Are you enjoying these?
I'm like this picture on the right. That's what I'm. That's
what
what's
we got
coming out
here?
of
We
my
got
eye right now.
cigarettes and the tears of enemies.
Yeah.
What strange material did Jackson Pollock often use to paint?
Cigarettes.
Correct. Correct. You're good at this. Like you should be a professional artist or something.
Yeah.
One would think that you know what you're doing. All right, another one here.
Okay.
Who of these artists was a vegetarian, animal activist, and would buy caged birds just to free them? Was it Billy Ray Cyrus or Leonardo da Vinci?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Correct. I don't know how many you've gotten right, but it seems like about 5 out of 7 or something, doesn't it?
50%. Maybe.
Oh, we got another question involving
Another Bieber.
another Bieber question, and also Beyonce. Who can solve a Rubik's Cube in 2 minutes? Dude, that's actually unbelievable.
Just because I reckon Justin Bieber has a lot of time on his hands. Justin Bieber.
But that is correct. Yeah, and fluent French. I suddenly have respect
is
for him,
a man after
even
my
though he's Canadian. I'm not Canadian, eh? All right.
Boy.
Here we go. Let's see here. We've got Michelangelo and Salvador Dali. Which artists often included self-portraits in their paintings?
Salvador.
Correct. Yeah. Actually, like probably the only one I would have known. All right. And whose true identity is still not known and may never be known? Is it Batman or Banksy?
Banksy.
Correct.
Who doesn't know Batman's
Well done. Well done.
identity?
All right. We'll be back after this short commercial break.
Yep, we're closing down again. Prices are slashed on all our rugs. Again. Big sale, closing down sale. Prices are low, low, low. Because we're going out of business. Again. We keep trying to change locations to make you happy, but you won't buy our rugs. Why won't you buy our rugs? East, west, north, south, doesn't matter where we open. Always closing down. Get your rugs at our closing down sale now. Old! Your old toys are old! Get this new toy, new fun slime, F-U-N, so fun! Wow! Bend it, stretch it, smash, grab! Tell mom, dad now! Get their money off them! Go, 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 go! Smash, smoosh, smoosh the slime, stretch it, get it, you got it! Wow, wow, wow! Fun, new fun slime! All your friends have the slime already, get it now! Bye, bye, bye! Bye, bye, bye! Bye! Tell mom, dad, your old toys are so old! Get this new toy! Out now from Goose.
Having trouble removing your makeup? Tired of endless scrubbing and irritation? Try new Easy Wipes. Simply press the wipe onto your skin, wait 30 seconds, and wow! New, fresh, healthy, young, succulent looking skin. No scrubbing required. Available at all participating retailers.
Is onion, is love.
Back to the show. Acquired Savant, let's go.
As we come now towards the end of our show, it's time for the rapid art round. We have just 3 minutes to polish off our masterpieces as best we can, so let's get into it.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it. So we've started now with doing some coral off the top of the upper jaw of our...
That's right. A little
sort of
ornamentation.
alien.
Yeah, that's right. Looking a little bit weird. Now I'm just going to go off on a limb and I'm just going to add some crazy spikes to the top.
Now,
You just follow along.
yeah, I'll try to. I want to ask you a few more questions because I'm interested. Roughly, how old are you now?
I'm 21 at the moment.
So you've been doing this for about, what, 15 years or so?
Something, yeah, close like that, exactly. 15 years.
How long have you been taking it, like, super seriously?
I don't think I've ever taken it really seriously.
Okay.
Like, it's just something that I don't do it as much as I used to as a kid, but as a kid, I would have to draw it every single day because it was just an impulse. It was so quick for me to do, especially with pens, because pens, you're able to do stuff really fast with them. And it was just a lot of fun for myself personally. I like to have alone time as a kid, and it's a great way to spend it. You know, if you're watching movies and TV shows all day, it's also a great way to sort of process things you've seen. You do your own versions of it.
Now, as you move into the future, are you doing this as part of what you do for work?
Somewhat. I actually got told for most of my early childhood that you're going to be a great artist, you're going to be so rich, you're going to make so much money because you're talented at this age. And then at some point, everyone was just like, oh, you want to be an artist, prepare to be poor. And I'm like, oh, okay, thanks for letting me know. That was really helpful. You know, but I've considered trying to do it as a proper career. I think it's possible, but extremely difficult, especially if you want to have something substantial. So I've been exploring a lot of avenues. I did a course for graphic design, which does involve creativity, visual thinking stuff. But
now, for people who primarily do stuff on paper compared to the computer, is there a bit of a you know, do they like one another? Is there a bit of a rivalry between?
Oh, that's really interesting, actually. I don't think I've ever heard of them as a rivalry, but generally if you learn art on one or the other, switching to the other can be quite difficult because the mediums are quite different. I've sort of I've learned to do traditional, and then I've tried every now and again to get into digital, and it's been fairly difficult. It's only until I got an iPad where you're able to draw onto the screen, where it's been a bit easier. See, I can't do it.
For somebody who's maybe just starting out, would you suggest that they start with one medium or the other?
I would suggest that do both at the same time. That way you can kind of, it might be pretty difficult at first because you're learning two mediums at once, but I think it just sounds like a cool thing to do, I reckon.
Is that something where they would just take courses through their schools?
You know what?
Or
the way,
is there a certain
the
online?
bulk of my skill, I just got from just drawing every single day. You don't need to pay a cent for it besides paper and pens if you do that, or the program you use if you do digital. You just keep drawing. You just got to keep drawing. Just the volume of work.
I need to keep drawing a lot.
You need to keep. You have a lot
like
of volume
about
to go
3-year-olds. I was good, kind of, in this
well,
region.
the thing is, you were talking as well. You're talking well to me. It's a difficult skill to do talking. Look, I've only done a little leg
that's
like that.
looking pitiful. It's just going to get worse each week with the stuff I'm going to be trying.
That's all right.
Oh my God. Then you got to start somewhere, like you say.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone says that for any sort of skill, there's like a certain amount of hours of volume that everyone has to go to in the first start. And if you don't get past that first like 300 hours or something like that volume of work, then you'll never, get to be as best as you want to be. And it all depends if as you learn a bit more and you feel like you're really being rewarded by yourself for the learning.
Fair enough.
That's the difference. Like if you're trying to do something and you're not really feeling like you're being rewarded by yourself for having these little achievements.
It's hard to stay passionate about it, I suppose, if you're not
exactly.
getting that positive reinforcement.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's why things like those hobbies are so great to do. Kids pick them up so easily because they don't care. They just do whatever they feel like it, and they don't compare. That's why it's so easy. And if you're an adult, it's a little bit hard to get out of that mindset. But it's definitely something you can do.
And I mean, on a bit of a side note, I suppose that's why teachers are just so important, because they have a chance to influence the children at a young age and encourage them, or sometimes, sometimes they don't pick up on that, but a lot of times, if they can get those kids encouraged to stay interested from the very beginning, then...
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I think this might be the
looking
little
good.
wrap-up brand, I think.
Yeah.
I think we know. All right, so what I've just done here, I've done a little seal arm. So as fast as you can, I need
seal
you to
arm,
try
huh?
and draw
A
this
seal arm. Huh?
mangly seal arm. So while you're doing that, I'll draw this huge
I need a
goiter.
pencil.
No pencils here. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Be organic with your pen strokes.
organic.
This is crunch time, my friend. So I'm drawing this big, bulbous goiter where he stores all his fish, his space fish maybe.
Yeah.
And then under that, he's going to have a little bit of a beard.
Well.
Look, I like where you're going. Like I had to be like when I was look, all right. When I got into some teaching, like people try to get you to do like drawings like 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like it's possible. You just got to be really. Time's up.
Oh my goodness.
up.
All right. Well, while we finish up our final touch-ups here, let's take a look at this performance from local artist Jay Lacat.
The kids around here all look so innocent, and I can't help but wonder how they worked it all out. So young is a new word that everyone's focused on. Got to be small or they don't care at all, do they? Know what it's like to be completely obsolete. No one believes it. Growing older these days. Growing older these days. Fresh skin, no crow's feet on their shiny, shiny bright faces filled up. Ideas about all of these places that they have seen on the silver screen. Where have they really been? Do they know it's make-believe? Growing up kids these days are few in between. Can I go back to being one of those kids these days? One of those kids these days. Oh, 'cause I'm still child at heart. Oh, I'm still a child at heart when did all this growing up start? 'Cause I'm still a child at heart.
That was a fantastic performance by the wonderful Jay Lacat. Now it's time to look at our final pieces. Drum roll, please.
That's a strange drum roll, but it works.
yes,
Let's
indeed.
go. All right,
All right.
you ready?
All right, let's reveal your piece.
Wait for it to come up. Oh, there we go.
That looks outstanding.
Thank you very
That's
much.
quite unbelievable, actually. Now, here's what it looks like when somebody's learning. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Look, I think you've done a fantastic job.
It looks like yours with a wasting disease, if you're going to be honest.
Honestly.
All right, we can only get better every single time. That's
right.
what I reckon.
Just keep practicing. That's
Indeed.
what you have to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being here.
That's all right.
Did you learn anything from me on when it comes to teaching?
Well, actually, yeah, that's something I was thinking about, coming onto the show. Like, I could learn a bit of thing about teaching because, not all art is something we can point out, but a lot of it is. A lot of things, it's like when I was teaching you the stippling. Actually, I didn't actually show you stippling.
What is stippling?
Stippling is when you do dots, and the more dots you do on the paper, it looks darker. It's like cross-hatching,
For shading.
hatching like that. For shading, exactly like that.
Now, has this inspired you to want to become a teacher of the arts?
Possibly. Depends how much I'm paid. It's definitely, it's not difficult, I think. I think I really enjoy teaching people because it's just about showing that sometimes it can be easy. You've just got to keep practicing.
Beautiful.
Basically. Yeah.
Well, clearly you've got a talent for the art. Next week's episode, we'll have another great artist lined up for you. Miniature terrain painter Tabitha Ingle. We look forward to seeing you then, but for now I bid you farewell. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You like art, I just like fun stuff. Come sit down and watch Acquired Savant. Acquired Savant.